Kim Jones has worked for the NFL Network since 2012 as a field reporter. But this past November, her life changed forever while she was in a press conference room covering the Washington Redskins.
All of a sudden, my neck got hot on both sides. I walked outside and I tripped. Immediately, I knew something was wrong, but then I knew it was something serious because this is something I'd never experienced before. So I went back into the room, I sat down, and from that point on, I was in and out of consciousness. I'm in the ambulance, they're asking me some questions, and I was responding to them. They told me I was having a heart attack, and for some reason, in my mind, I knew I wasn't having a heart attack.
Jones was transferred to Inova Fairfax Hospital in Virginia, where she was diagnosed with an aortic dissection, a tear in the wall of the artery carrying blood out of the heart, and she soon underwent surgery.
The layers of the aorta in my body had split. That leaves the aorta in danger of rupturing. If that happens, I'm not here.
Jones spent almost 2 weeks in the hospital. From her bed, she posted a message on Instagram.
Everyone at this hospital has helped put me back together, and I really appreciate them.
Today, Jones is back at work, and she says she's grateful for the outpouring of support she received.
People root for the athletes I cover all the time, but in this case, some of them and a lot of other people were rooting for me to live. I certainly will never forget that feeling.
And Kim is here this morning, and we're so thankful you're here to share your story and raise awareness, because this, again, goes to the whole issue where when you're young, you don't think you have to worry about heart conditions.
You never think about it, right? And then my neck got hot, and I knew something was very, very wrong, and it could have been anything, but aortic dissection never crossed my mind because I'm not sure I'd ever really heard of it before I had it.
And you didn't think it was a heart attack either?
For some reason in the ambulance, I didn't. Now, that could have just been me being clouded. I was in and out of consciousness, but for some reason, I kept saying to myself, I'm not having a heart attack. And they said, Kim, are you a smoker? I'm like, no, have you used drugs? I said, no. I mean, I remember answering those questions, but for some reason, I knew it wasn't a heart attack per se, but it was certainly something really serious.
Any other risk factors, family history?
I don't have any that we know of, Craig, and that's the weird part, because we're reporters, right? We want to know the why, and why did this happen? How would you prevent it? Yes. And that's the hard part, is it might have been just really bad luck, which is what one of my surgeons, Dr. Spear, said to me in the hospital.
So aortic dissection, which some of you might know because that's what John Ritter died from, but it's still not something that people throw out there. Heart attack is what people throw out there. Did the people who were treating you right away in the ambulance, did they also know it wasn't a heart attack and needed to treat you differently?
They thought it was a heart attack, but the one thing John Ritter did, unfortunately in death, was raised awareness of this, and my understanding is since then that is on the minds of emergency room doctors, and was for me. I went to one hospital before I went to Inova, and part of the reason they transferred me to Inova, they realized it wasn't a heart attack, it was the aorta.
Let's bring in Dr. Liam Ryan. He's the director of aortic surgery at Inova Hospital. Thank you for coming in this morning.
He saved my life along with Dr. Spear.
Oh, I tried.
So you're happy to see him.
I'm grateful.
Should we worry about the difference between a heart attack and this aortic dissection? A lot of people have never really heard about it besides John Ritter. Does that matter, that distinction in the moment?
To you, no. The fact of the matter is the symptoms overlap. They're very difficult for you at home to distinguish between. Crushing chest pain that's a dissection versus crushing chest pain that's a heart attack. You're not going to be able to sort that out. The key thing is to activate EMS as soon as you have any compelling symptoms and get to a hospital and let us figure that out for you. That's our job.
And the Redskins did that for me that day. I was covering the Redskins for NFL Network. So they took that initial role. But then I got so lucky with the care I got.
How fortunate was that, though, to be in a place where those physicians...
Incredible luck that no one can explain.
Am I correct in hearing you? Are you saying that a person may not even know if he or she is at risk?
No.
I didn't know.
So is there anything... I remember I just had a scan the other day, or not even a scan, I just had a routine physical, and my doctor told me she heard a heart murmur, like a slight one. Only 2 physicians have told me that in 30 years, 40 years. And so she wants me to have it checked, or have you? I've had it checked before. But is that an issue? Is that a risk? Because other than that, I just don't know how she would know.
It could be. So addressing your question first, 40% of people that present with an aortic dissection have absolutely no risk factors whatsoever. No family history, no high blood pressure, non-smokers, 0 risk factors.
Wow.
And then moving on to your question, which is a fairly relevant one in terms of public health.
Yeah.
It may not be a benign murmur. The most common congenital defect that people are born with is an abnormal aortic valve.
Yeah.
And it's 1 to 2% of the population. So often people that were told during childhood, you have a benign murmur, or, I hear something, I'm not really sure what it is. It's often a bicuspid valve.
Yeah.
That confers an 8 to 10-fold increase in your risk of aortic dissection over your lifetime.
Wow. It's good to know.
And I was told a few years ago, you have a little heart murmur, not a big deal.
That's why I wonder, because I've heard it, like I said, I've heard it before. And I've talked to other people, and they're like, oh, yeah, they told me that. They said it was no big deal, but it's something to check out.
Absolutely.
You get the scan.
Yeah.
And Kim, you have scars now, but you say that's part of you. That's who you are now.
Well, Dr. Spear in the hospital, the first of my surgeons to visit me after the surgery, I was still in ICU, and he said, I know what you do for a living. I'm sorry about the scars. And I was still in ICU. I hadn't had a mirror. I hadn't been up. I had no idea what he was talking about. But my reflex was to say, the scars are who I am now. And don't apologize because you saved my life. I knew, I had that awareness right away that Inova, Dr. Ryan, and Dr. Spear saved my life.
Well, we're so glad you're here to raise awareness about
Probably
this.
saving some other lives as well.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here. I hope so.
Thanks,
Dr. Ryan, thank you so much. We've put more information from the American Heart Association about aortic dissection online. Go to today.com for that information. We'll be right back.